Hello everybody, and welcome to one of the strangest afterlives in history. King Charles XII of Sweden was a military prodigy and a fierce warrior, leading his country into intense battles during the Great Northern War. But it's what happened after his death that captured imaginations for centuries. Charles XII became King of Sweden in 1697 at just 15 years old. He was a passionate ruler known for his tactical brilliance and relentless pursuit of military glory. He took Sweden to new heights, answering the declaration of war by its powerful European neighbors like Russia, Poland and Denmark in what became known as the Great Northern War. Charles was particularly known for his fearless battlefield strategies, often leading from the front, but this bold approach would be his undoing. In 1709, at the Battle of Poltava, his army faced disastrous defeat against Russian forces led by Peter the Great, a loss that would turn the tide against Sweden and mark the beginning of its imperial decline. Yet Charles pressed on, determined to restore Sweden's former glory. However, Charles' life ended in 1718 under mysterious circumstances during the siege of Frederiksted in Norway. He was shot in the head while inspecting the front lines. But here's where things get strange. No one knows for sure who fired the shot. Was it an enemy bullet, or did one of his own soldiers assassinate him to end the ruinous wars that had devastated Sweden? Theories swirled about betrayal, and to this day Charles's death remains an unsolved mystery. Following his passing, Charles's body was brought back to Sweden and buried in Riddarholm Church in Stockholm. But his story didn't end there. In 1746, rumors began circulating that Charles's body was perfectly preserved, almost as if he had never truly died. Curiosity got the better of Swedish officials and his coffin was opened. Those present reported an astonishing sight. His corpse was supposedly intact, his uniform unstained and the fateful bullet hole clearly visible. These accounts were enough to cement his place as something of an undead legend. As nationalism took hold in Sweden during the 1800s, Charles XII became an icon of nation's lost greatness. Stories of his incorruptible body circulated widely, feeding the legend that he was a hero blessed by fate. The lore grew so intense that in 1859 another exhumation was carried out to satisfy the public's curiosity. Scientists examined the body closely, and while they confirmed the presence of a bullet hole, they couldn't prove who fired it. The exhumation fueled further fascination, leading people to believe Charles might have been preserved by some divine force, waiting for the time when Sweden would need him again. In the years that followed, Charles became an almost mythical figure. His imagine-adorned national monuments and the eerie stories of his body only strengthened his reputation as a symbol of Sweden's glory. To some, he was the eternal king, forever preserved, waiting to return in Sweden's time of need. The fascination with Charles' remains even sparked comparisons to legendary figures like King Arthur, further embedding him in Swedish folklore as a king who could, in some sense, live forever. The story of King Charles XII's afterlife is one of mystery, nationalism and eerie fascination. The tales of his preserved body gave him an almost supernatural presence, transforming him into a symbol of Swedish strength long after his military campaigns had ended. Charles may have died on a Norwegian battlefield, but his story lived on, an afterlife as enduring and enigmatic as the man himself.